Welcome everybody back to another Bold Cast reaction. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
And this is Demon Sailor, episode 1 of the Hashira training arc. We're just gonna jump right into it. New season, new episodes of Demon Slayer, new incredible animation. Let's go. It just feels really anticlimactic to not give a recap at the start of the season.
Yeah, I think people just want to get into it though. They don't know what happened.
I'm excited. They always have the best first episodes. Remember that time that one guy was like flying through the crazy Japanese crazy stairs? Mm-hmm. Ooh. Looks like it. Oh, Hashira. Creepy looking guy.
Mm-hmm. I like that snake. I can't remember if I really liked it before, but something about it I like now.
I think you did like it. You've always liked the snake. Oh, there's a bunch.
There's so many.
Whoa.
I love that, like the look of that. That's really cool.
Yeah, the snake one, the purple one. I love his sword too. Look at that. Sick.
Seems like a trap.
You are correct, but he's gonna slice them all up.
Ooh.
I love this. That's so cool.
This is not even a problem. It's like they're just bugs and he's just like swatting them away.
I love how he grabbed that one guy's hair and then sliced his head off. What the hell is that? What the? Are they just like transformed or is there some, what are?
Like creatures?
I could be wrong. I don't remember seeing anything like that shit. That was crazy. Maybe in the manga there was like so many to draw that it just like became more efficient just to make them look like that.
I feel like they're a different kind of thing. They look different.
They look like they'd be like thralls or something, but they just look like the demons but more Halloween style. I can't get over how cool his sword is. Nice. No!
Oh my god.
Are they dead?
They're completely
They're fucked. Is Muzan just giving his blood out? Is that what these things are? They're just like all, because when he puts his blood into people, they just like, you know, if they can't take it, they just get fucked.
Oh boy.
Should have turned back if you had the chance.
Could've.
Oh, okay. Well, that's honestly a blessing. Okay, they're both there.
Okay, yeah, I thought they were gonna get trapped in there. That would have been 1,000 times
That
worse.
would have been it would have been over. I think the demons just tilted their hand a little bit too much if they didn't know about the crazy stairs.
Yeah.
Or did they? Maybe the leader did, but he's like on death's door. No OP first episode. God damn it.
Did her eyes get even bigger? She just looks so much like a bug.
禰豆子さんが太陽を克服した。これから大きな動きがあることを意味します。はい、おそらく鬼物寺無惨は鬼たちを使い、禰豆子さんを奪いに来るでしょう。克服した鬼を自分のものとするために。緊急の中央会議が開かれることになったので、ここに参ります。 間禰豆子さんのことをお願いできますか？
Big responsibility.
頼みましたよ。
Hashira training arc. I hated that fucking guy. It was so annoying.
カンロジさんもいっぱい食べるって言ってたんで。
あの人はちょっと原理の外側にいる感じだけど。で、その後3日でほぼ全開だったって。
はい、尊敬します。
お前もだんだんだよ。だんだんってな。あ、これ一番聞きたかったんだ。妹が偉いことになってるらしいけど、多分なのか？あ、はい。太陽の下、ここ歩いてますね。
It's kind of crazy. It's crazy. I didn't know if they were gonna like there was gonna be any like downside to it or
Yeah.
any like problem about it.
I think she's probably evolving as a demon.
校長様が調べてくれてんの？
いや、玉屋さんが。
Don't talk about her.
お前の妹がああなってまたいろいろと動き出しそうだな。生の号令がかかったし、柱も今集まってるって話だしな。どうなるんだよ、ほんと。
当主の加賀谷が病状の悪化により今後皆様の前へ出ることが不可能となった旨、心よりお詫び申し上げます。
承知。親方様が一日でも長く。
But wouldn't Nezuko's fire be able to burn away the curse on him? Maybe?
お二人に独特な文様のあざにしたという報告が上がっております。お二人にはあざの発言の条件をご教示願いたく。
I forgot.
戦国の時代、鬼物事務山をいうところまで追い詰めた始まりの呼吸の剣士たち。彼らは全員に鬼の文様と似た発言していたそうです。大聞くなどしてご存知の方はご存知です。
俺は初耳で捨てていたのです。
発言しないため思い詰めてしまう方が随分いらっしゃいます。
That makes sense. Everyone just feels like they're inadequate.
And then they won't even try.
ただ一つはっきりと印残されていた言葉があります。あざの者が一人現れると共鳴するように周りの者たちにもあざが現れる。
I guess that's why everybody else had it when Tanjiro was doing it.
の剣士の一人の手記にそのような文言がありました。最初にあざが現れた方、柱の階級ではありませんでしたが。
Wait, do they actually know it's Tanjiro? Yeah.
彼が最初のあざのもの。ご本人にもはっきりとあざの発言の方法がわからない様子でしたので、ひとまず聞いてきましたが、ご自願います。甘露寺様、時藤様。
Like, well, I don't know. It was epic music for her just like trying to remember.
Having a brain fart.
This is almost the same as what Tanjiro was saying. Interesting.
Although even Gyu's like, what the fuck is she talking about? The snake guy's like in love with her, by the way. I forget if I told you that.
Is he gonna be able to like
Articulate it?
思い当たること、いつもと違うことがいくつかありました。出せばおそらくみんなあざが浮き出す。今からその方法をお伝えします。
You'll explain how?
僕は毒を食らい動けなくなりました。呼吸で血の巡りを抑えて毒が回るのを遅らせようとしましたが、少年が殺されかけ、以前の記憶が戻り、強すぎる怒りで感情の収集がつかなく、その時の心拍数は200を超えていたと思います。さらに体は燃えるように熱く、39度以上になっていたはずです。
こんな状態で動けますか？
そうですね。だからそこがふるいにかけられるところだと思う。ないかがおそらくあざが出るものと出ないものの分かれ道です。
Basically, you have to be almost having a heart attack, having the worst fever of all time, fighting for your life.
はい。胡蝶さんのところで治療は熱を出したんですが、体温計なるもので測ってもらった温度39度があざが出ていたとされる同じでした。
She's like, this is a way better explanation
Yeah,
than what I
she's
just
just
gave.
like,
そんな簡単なこと
oh, my heart rate, that must have been the.
簡単と言ってしまえる簡単な頭で羨ましい。
Well, what's weird about that? All right.
発言が
All right, we're gonna go get that kid, Tanjiro. He was the first guy. Then we're gonna just bring him into perilous situations where all of us almost die.
Yes.
ありがとうございます。訓練につきましては、皆様にお伝えしなければならないことがあります。何でしょうか？あが発言してしまった方は選ぶことができません。あざが発言した方はどなたも例外なく。
Looking around, just like everybody's just looking at each other, like what? I want to see this guy. I've always liked him since the first like Hashira meeting. I always thought he was really interesting, but he's like the one dude we haven't really hung out with that much.
周りも決めねえとならねえだろうが。6人で話し合うといい。俺には関係ない。
Why is he like such a dick? Is this where they're gonna develop him? Because that's usually what they do. They're just like, oh man, this guy's a fucking asshole. And then we end up learning about them. I know we've obviously known him since like episode 1, but not really.
富岡さん、説明してください。さすがに言葉が足りませんよ。
俺はお前たちとは違う。気に食わねえぜ。言ったな、富岡。俺たちを見下してんのか？
You see the snake?
No, I didn't.
It was funny.
Are they gonna go to his homeland to train, maybe? He's like a monk.
Oh God.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Alright, we'll see you guys next week. Great episode. We'll start the review now. These girls are so awesome.
They're so funny.
ひよちゃん、なごちゃん、すみちゃん、俺のために集まってくれたんだね。
ああ、本当に今回も大変でさ。
死ぬ気だったんだけど、みんなが俺が死んだらめちゃめちゃ悲しむだろうと思って頑張った。
As always, though, you were asleep and more useful and entertaining.
That's what I call a sleeper build.
He's the ultimate sleeper build. I bet that joke's made a million times already. Think they're gonna end up together? I hope not for her sake.
Yeah.
Or do you think he's gonna end up with Nezuko?
Oh God, I really hope not.
I mean, who else is gonna end up with Nezuko? Tanjiro? She's actually talking now.
Go right ahead.
He's looking like the bad guy from Roger Rabbit right now. What?
伊之助おかえり
Has your brain deteriorated as well?
I mean, probably.
いたんですけど
Probably out training.
お前の妹
As always.
あのイノシシ頭に延々と刷り込みされてたぞ
Oh.
Oh, just like.
Did he? Oh.
伊之助伊之助
ってひたすら自分の名前を覚えさせてたね
Just hyping her up with his name so
Yeah.
that it's just all she remembers.
It's like all she knows is welcome home Inosuke. Those are just her 3 words.
Yeah, what about the guy with the. What about American breathing? Where's he? You pissed about the sword? Oh, he's just like, you better not. Oh, yeah. Oh my god, he got the thing. Yes. Right, it protected that kid. Remember that kid almost died from the giant fish monster, but we thought he fucking straight up died, but no. Still not red though.
すごい漆黒の深さが違う
Hmm.
質がいいし前の持ち主が相当強い剣士だったんだろう
滅の文字
これを打った刀鍛冶が全ての鬼を滅するために作った刀だもう刻まずただこの文字だけを刻んだ
A prayer.
この刀の後から階級制度が悪鬼滅殺の文字を刻むようになったそうだ
すごい刀だでも前の戦いでこれを使った時は文字がなかったような
それは第一段階までしか研ぎ終えてないのに持ってってくれたろうね3人が落としきれてなぶち殺すすみません今のままずっと涙が出てるんだよああ痛くて痛くてたまらないんだよ時の途中で邪魔されまくりだったんだよな
It was so bad. You spent like the whole fight just like
So-
taking hits, just fucking sharpening the blade, and then you had to do it all over again.
There's always such a exhausting endeavor to deal with this guy.
I mean, he does good work. What can you say?
相当辛いみたいです
うるせえんだよ
あごめんゲンヤもう済んだから
Did he bring you a new gat?
Oh my god.
Your favorite, your other favorite character.
All my favorites coming back in at the same time. This is me.
He's so modest all of a sudden. Before he would have told him to go fucking kill himself or something.
行動強化何なんだそれなるほど
I'm so glad you're the one that is bringing us this information.
So they got a grace period where they're probably doing the same shit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they're not as organized, but they have an opportunity to train a bunch of their underlings as well.
Mm-hmm.
姫島さん
柱を引退した者にも手伝ってもらおうと思う。こちらもいろ
I can think of somebody.
もちろんねえよ
富岡さんですね
What is he doing?
I don't know.
What is he doing otherwise? I could think of a certain one-armed, one-eyed shinobi you could come in and train.
今から行くのか
つけてもらうんだって
Oh,
Oh, okay.
that's cool.
It's gonna be huge.
すごくねえわ誰なんだよ考えて
I only know one move. I'm training under a bunch of people is dog shit for me.
自分よりも強い人と対峙すると、
Mhm.
それをぐんぐん吸収して強くなれるんだから言うんであれば俺とお前の中を今日これまでだな
Just a rabid creature all of a sudden. A lot of crying going on in this episode.
いやいや待ってくれ出てたけどありがとう天皇使との戦いで
片足がほとんど使えなくなった時、が教えてくれてた雷の呼吸のコツを使う首が切れたんだ。善逸みたいな速さではできなかったけど、本当にありがとう。こんな風に人と人とのつながりが窮地を柱稽古で学んだことは全部良い未来につながっていくと思うよ。
What a great way of looking at it.
バカ野郎お前。俺の機嫌がな。
All right, Chopper.
Yeah.
Is this like the only time he's been in a good mood the whole time?
The calmest we've ever seen him.
Let's watch it get ruined right now. In a
You know,
second. Oh shit. There he is. Are these Demon Slayer people? Oh yeah, okay. I thought for a second we were like showing up to him training other ninja or something. Are they more stacked than they were before? Jesus
That, I was
Christ.
like, maybe I just didn't remember.
They put on like 20 pounds each and only in one area. Well, technically 2 areas, but you know what I mean. Is this episode long? Yeah.
It is.
Oh my god, I didn't even notice. I love it. Perfect for your electrolytes. After this? What do you mean after this? This is their whole shit. Oh, with other people you mean. He's very accurate with his blade. Infinite slashing. I feel like that's a good, like, trajectory.
Yeah.
Like, to go in that order, I feel like makes a lot of sense. By infinite slashing training, he meant they get slashed infinitely.
Infinitely,
Not
yeah.
they learn how to do it. She's like folding them into pretzels.
It's just them getting their ass kicked for like weeks straight.
It's not training for the core. It's training just for the Hashira, so that they're
Yeah.
slightly better.
They say it's the Hashira training arc. It's the Hashiras that are training.
Yes.
These guys are just fodder.
Mizu Dayo. This is exactly the breathing, or the stuff that went through in whatever his name, the guy who trained Tanjiro. I forget his name right now. He has a crazy name.
Oh, yeah, I can't remember.
He was training to like be water for the water breathing. He like sat under the waterfall for a long time to like feel the flow and stuff, and probably just physically helpful as well.
Getting a lot of head wounds lately.
親方様からの手紙だ。至急読むのだ。
手紙？俺にわざわざ？なんだろう。
It's from Gyu? Yes.
柱稽古に参加してないのか。
あなたの子供たちがあなたの意志を継ぎ、あなたの気持ちをつなげていこうと、鬼物寺無惨を倒すという悲願のため進んでやってくれています。
His actual children or like the demon slayers? Does she mean?
はい。
これまで本当にありがとう。
That's a pretty nice way to go, I'd say. All things considered. A little bit young, but, you know.
Oh boy.
You're gonna see Michael Jackson. What are these seals? Oh no, this is Tamayo? Yeah. It's like an alarm, probably, that there's people coming for her. She's studying Kaguya's shit.
こんばんは、玉代さん。
Whose bird is that? Or is it...
物騒ですよ。夜に窓を開け放っておくのは。
Who are you?
It might just be Muzan.
でも今日は本当に月が美しいようだ。はじめまして。我が輩は産屋敷から
Oh, okay.
深いのです。
どうしてここが分かったのですか？
家の人脈ですね。あなたが買ったこの家の元の持ち主を特定
This bird did all this?
車の道に
Fucking bird.
君の資格を
I was able to ask around.
我が輩は
I rolled 20 on my investigation check.
ただの彼。そもそもそこまで警戒され
Apparently.
But I am a mere crow. No one paid attention to my scarf.
安心してほしい。
何のご用でしょうか？
Or my creepy
静
eyes.
かでいっぱいの様子。無理もない。我が輩が炭治郎のようにあなたから信用を得るのはやはり。
どういった腹積もりなの？
Yeah, this is sketchy as shit.
騙そうとしている。
ゆしろうくんは心配いりませんよ。ほら、走ってくる足音が聞こえる。で
Is
は、
that him though?
要件を話し。
This thing is fucking terrifying looking.
鬼殺隊にも鬼の体と精通している子がいるのです。
We want them to like team up.
一緒に調べていただきたい。鬼物無惨を倒すために協力しませんか。産屋敷邸にいらしてください。
Oh, God.
鬼である私殺隊の本拠地へ。
It's not the first time. Is that the end? What did you think of the first big episode of Demon Slayer?
I'm so glad that they did the long episode.
Yes.
I feel like it helps so much.
Get over that little hurdle while
Yeah.
still keeping everything rolling. You get a lot of exposition. You get a lot of new development. You get a lot of recapping and reestablishing shit. You know,
Yeah.
you get and you get actually started on what the arc's actually going to be about. I wish most, you know, especially larger series did this, you know, because a lot of them don't.
I feel like, yeah, it's a special, like, sometimes I think it's extra good in, like, the premiere of an anime, like, the first episode ever, but I think it's also really good specifically in, something like this where they want to, you know, recap kind of what happened last time and show some clips of the crazy fights from last season. But sometimes when you do that and you only have the 20 minutes, it's like, okay, like half of it was flashbacks or like just establishing things.
Yeah.
And that, like, it's kind of necessary, but it's not always as balanced or as fun. But when you have the 45-minute episode, it immediately becomes so much better because there's so many new things of varying degrees. We can have this cool fight at the beginning with the two Hashira going after into this like den of demons and stuff. And then also still, you know, see Tanjiro and everyone recovering, see a little bit of on Nezuko's progress, see all of the Hashira starting their training and stuff. You know, it's it felt like there was a really good balance of kind of everything, and we're now like in a really good place to start the season.
And it's really smart that, like, when as you know, as silly as it is for Tanjiro to be like, "Oh, Tomoyo-san," and then they're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And just to remind us about her because she's been pretty well on the back burner up to this point, and like I think that her sort of use her use in the story has kind of shifted to be a bit more in line with the way that the story's kind of gone, because it seemed like at the beginning it was going to be all about bringing Nezuko back, and she was, you know, we're gonna defeat demon by demon, get their blood, send them off, and then quickly it became more about a grander kind of
Like
emotional,
researching and
a grander like emotional battle, and to where like the blood and all that stuff, like, and with the developments of, you know, scaling the power system, people are getting transformations. Nezuko got multiple like kind of transformations, so like them doing this more linear, episodic demon by demon format became not as interesting as what the story eventually turned into. So, I kept saying Tomio. I don't know why I was, but Tamayo, her function in the story, you know, was going to be that sort of hub researcher role, as we go from monster to monster, but now it is much more of a grander plot, so they're bringing her back in so that she's not just a completely forgotten, disposed of character. She still has a big part to play, I hope. And I actually like that. I like that it's a good use of, you know, the things that you've already established, even if the direction has kind of shifted somewhat over time and become a lot less, more, I guess, episodic, you could say, like Monster of the Week, you know, with the way that the story is kind of gone. I think that it works really well, and it's I'm really glad because her story and what she brings to it, to me, is really interesting as like an older, a lot more knowledge, a lot more insight into things, possibly some deeper history with Muzan that we don't fully understand. Getting more of that and how that will mix with the rest of the group is going to be really interesting. And you can see she's been in hiding for so long. She's very scared, you know, for good reason. Yeah, so dope.
Yeah, I like that. I'm excited for this little training arc we're gonna get.
Training. I'm glad to see Tengen.
Back at it.
All the different Hashira. Yeah, I like that. I like the sequence that they did. The fact that like they need to do with Tengen first because he is gonna get their cardio up essentially and their resistance, and
before they get beat.
Before they get the shit beat out of them, before they do other more intense types of training, they need to have that baseline. So I just like the way that it was, and then the fact that Mitsuri is she's in the middle and she like helps them stretch out before they do all the strength training. So they have like a good base routine, and then at the very end they'll become a lot stronger after getting a bunch of training, and then they can, you know, practice that on their own time. I just like that detail. Yeah. And it was a lot of recapping, talking about the marks, the Hashira marks.
Yes.
Which apparently it's a trait passed down by, I forget his name because it's been a year, but Tanjiro's not ancestor, Muichiro's ancestor, right? It was passed down as a technique to Tanjiro's ancestors, I believe. Like they like saved him or something after he fought a demon, and then he like taught them that was the dance. That was sorry. Part of this is also we're just trying to remember because it's been a year since we watched Demon Slayer. Anyway, because it was very explicit that ancient guy did not have any children, right? They just look alike. They just look like Tanjiro.
Yeah, because he like rolled up to Tanjiro's house, right? Or like
Tanjiro's ancestors. Yeah. Yes. And then they passed down the Hinokami Kagura, which is like this fire form. It's a series of striking forms for demon slayers. But then Muichiro was like supposed to be a direct descendant of the sun-breathing people of like the original breathing style people. That's why he has he has a good aptitude for it. But yeah, anyway, so Tanjiro, for whatever reason, maybe because this like thing, this tradition has been passed down in his family line, now he can manifest the Hashira mark naturally, and then because if he's around other people who have the physical stamina and the training to be able to withstand the bodily effects that has on you negatively, then they can manifest the same power and get like a big power boost, which is sick.
Yeah, I do like that, how it's like what's the word for that, like you like pieces, there's someone there like raising up the people around them, or like everyone kind of like can go to the next
rising
level
tide
together.
raises all ships type beat.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it. It was like it was a lot of I appreciate this, like, and I feel like this was crazy when they went into crazy stairs, and then the guy was just escaping for some reason. They just let the demon escape.
Could you imagine if they just got locked in there and murdered? They'd
be done. It would be so over.
They couldn't do that though, because like they need them for this arc. But that was pretty freaky.
I forget what I was gonna say.
Sorry. You appreciate what they were doing in this episode.
Right. So normally in a show, I would kind of be annoyed that so much of this was recap, but I think like because of how I enjoy Demon Slayer now, I actually kind of appreciate it. I feel like the show, for a long time I was really trying to like treat the show as if it's something that it's not, like trying to give it more credit, and not that it doesn't deserve credit for the things that it's good at, but like see it as a deeper, a more sort of gripping experience, like in terms of thematics and story and like something more obscure. So like I was like, oh, there's so many opportunities to like do something like that, and for a long time I saw it as just like, oh, it feels like there's so much missing potential, but and I wasn't treating it like what it is, which is a really good a really good story and series to enjoy casually on a deep level. Like it's not a deep story that you enjoy, like, you know, by obsessing over every thematic detail and like, you know, all this stuff. It's something that it's an experience that is made to let wash over you. And if you're open to it and you're willing to let the story take the lead, just let that kind of take you. And if you allow that, then it can be very fulfilling and very resonant. But so that's kind of where I am. And I feel like last season I enjoyed it a lot more than a lot of other people because I was going into it more like that. But now that it's been a year since that, I'm actually more in that mindset. So that's what, going back to what I was saying, like this kind of episode where it's a lot of recap and a lot of like reintroduction and sort of restating things that have happened, or you know, kind of summarizing. I would be kind of annoyed if I was super duper fixated on every detail and thinking like, oh my god, this is so novel and I really need to figure out everything, you know.
If you'd been thinking about it constantly since the last season, like if you...
Yeah, but I'm kind of past the point of theorizing about every single detail and like trying to make connections about that. And so just watching this more casually, I'm actually enjoying it a lot more. So I'm excited for this because I feel like it can only be better than last season in terms of plot and in terms of villains and stuff like that.
Because there was some really good stuff last season. But those villains were like pretty annoying and tiresome. Pretty fucking bad. But like the village was super cool, and like I like both the Hashira. I like that like what was that thing called, the like sword training.
The love breathing, where it's like a whip.
No, that like mechanical sword guy. Yeah. Like that was a super cool. So there's a lot of really cool things. Like there obviously has been like, the whole time, but I feel like I'm really interested to actually get to know the Hashiras at this point. I think when they were introduced, I was kind of like a little bit meh on them. Like I was like, okay, there's a lot of them. You know, we're just gonna go one by one through all of them. And then in the last season, obviously there was 2 of them, and then now we're kind of getting more into all of the rest of them, and I kind of appreciate that because it breaks it up a little bit from being like, we're gonna go with this Hashira and then they're gonna die, then we're gonna go with this Hashira and they're gonna get like retire, and then we're gonna go with you know what I mean, like it's just something different, and we get to see the bonds that they have with each other, and it feels like the story is gearing up, like you were saying with what's her name,
Tamayo.
Yes.
Tamayo.
How it's like gearing up into something bigger, and they even mentioned this is like there's gonna be a big war, so it makes sense, instead of like, okay, we're still going on these like smaller missions and just taking down like one of the moons at a time or a couple of them at a time. Now it's like, okay, we all need to train, and then we can fight all of them at once when they come for us, basically.
Yeah, it's very clear that there was kind of a, you know, how is this, you know, where is this going type conversation that was maybe had either with editors or with the author themselves, because the, you know, like with the blood thing, with all of the way that the demons were set up, like the upper and lower moons, and like there's a clear like checkpoints set up between us and the main big bad guy. It's like, okay, we defeat a guy, we get the blood, we fix Nezuko a little bit, we get a little bit stronger, then we go to the next guy, we get a little bit of blood, we learn a bit about this guy, and then, oh, there's this many Hashira, each Hashira has a different thing, okay, we go with this Hashira, we learn about them, we defeat a couple demons, and it's like, the story in the original, like, in the start of it, was clearly designed to, like, have this clear, like, set expectations for the reader, and, like, along the way we'll get colorful characters, both on good side and bad side, new abilities, and it was set up as a sort of a playing field to sort of set up all of these individual stories. And then I think at some point it may very well have been an editor thing. I can only speculate, but there must have been some kind of thing like, okay, is there anywhere else we could take the story? Because this feels like it might get a little bit boring if we just follow this exact script up until the very end. There needs to be some kind of dynamic, some type of climax. And I feel like that's what we're getting into now, and that's what the last couple seasons have been building up to, specifically last season and this one, is like, we have this long drawn out thing with a bunch of set checkpoints and a bunch of different things to explore. Let's truncate that, crush it all together, and make it one bigger thing, and then we'll get to the very end, like a big climax, like a war, and then we don't have to, follow a formula to explore all these things. We can explore them in a more dynamic way, which is kind of appreciated, because I think I would have been a little bit more bored if we did, Entertainment District arc every single time until we ran out of moons and until we ran, And we saw maybe the first of that change, either episode 19 with Rui or episode 20 more like, when Tanjiro didn't get the blood famously on the Boldcast channel. We were super pissed off. It's like, why the fuck won't you get the blood? You're trying to save your sister. All that kind of stuff. So I think that was actually like more of a, it might have been forgetting, but it's sort of emblematic of this, shift from the formula that was established at the beginning. And now we're seeing that, like, the point is, now we're seeing that kind of evolve into what the story is now going to be, and I am actually really happy for it, because it would have got really boring. But what I was going to say also after Rui, like, another example of that is when, it's at the end of season 1, I think, when Muzan, like, killed all the lower moons or whatever at the start of, it was either at the end of season 1 or at the start of the Mugen Train movie.
And it's just like, don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry. There's not like 50 shitty little demons. Like, we're gonna kill them all.
We're gonna cut to the chase,
crush them all,
here
and then cut to the chase a little bit. Yeah, and I feel like that kind of idea of it shows a good understanding of where your audience is probably at,
and also just like where your story is going. Because obviously, we talk about sometimes like writing manga and writing like a novel is like a very different thing. Because in a novel, you have the book, and you can go back and edit it a million times to nail it down to the point that you want. But obviously, when you're preparing your story for a manga or something, you all of the things that you like perfectly. If you could have unlimited time, this is where you would like the story to end up. But if you had to cut it short, then you might end it here, or you might like wrap things up here. Or when you like have ascended to a certain point, then you're like, okay, now I can expand things. Now I can do like, take things to another level. It's like a Naruto. We talk sometimes like when it's like, there's clearly the way the story is gonna go, but then as it's kind of like crusting there, then it opens up more and expands more and builds from there.
Yeah. True. Well, W episode. We'll see you guys next week. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
Bye-bye.